and supply the thick cells with nourishment and carry off the waste products and the ashes of cell activity, a process which we call metabolism. In the normal body, there are about 5 quarts of blood, and the blood pumped by the heart circulates through the system about every 23 seconds, so that every cell in the body is constantly supplied and cleansed, and at the same time is constant communication with every other cell in the body. That means every 23 seconds your blood runs from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, and from the top of the head to the tip of your fingers. The blood moving throughout the body, touching the liver, the spleen, touching the lungs, the heart, every part of the body. That blood is moving. The blood is the most mysterious of all tissues, being composed of scores of elements, compounds, and strange chemical bodies, which function is not fully understood, but all of which have to do with the mystery of life. For life is in the blood. Once the blood fails to reach the cells and membranes of the body, they promptly die. And no man ever dies until the blood stops circulating. Life is in the blood. Thank God for the blood, for life is in the blood. If you doubt what I'm saying, if there are people that have a question about whether they have acquired immune deficiency syndrome, that means whether they have AIDS or not, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. The only way the doctor can find out whether or not there is AIDS in that body, he has to extract from the body some blood. And then he looks at the blood and analyzes it and makes that decision that the blood is all right. In social diseases like syphilis, gonorrhea, herpes, and hepatitis, they have to take blood from the body to determine if there is a problem with your body in the sense of disease. If you have problems with your thyroid, they take blood from the body to determine if the thyroid is all right. If in the case of a prostate problem, they take the blood from the body to see if there is an over amount of antigen for prostate in the sense called PSA. And PSA means prostate specific antigen. That is, they want to see whether or not this accumulation of this medical definition of creatinine has started in the prostate. And then if they want to know if you got diabetes, they have to take blood from you to determine if you have diabetes. But when there is a question even about a man, when he has been accused of giving a woman a baby, he can argue all he wants, but they bring him in the office. And when they bring him in the office, they take blood from him and extract that blood from the child to see if there is a match. And that's called deoxyribonucleic acid test. In the deoxyribonucleic acid test, better known as DNA, they find out if that is the real daddy. And it doesn't matter about what you say because it's in the blood. And when it's in the blood, it's just in the blood. And then the next thing about it, I want to give you just some examples about the blood. Can I preach for just a few minutes? I want to give you some examples about the blood. There's a man that was up in Detroit, Michigan, and this man had been in prison for over 19 years. He was accused of raping a white girl, and he continued to say that he was innocent. So there were some lawyers and some physicians who got together, and they went there and they took from that woman they had on the medical record some of the semen that was there. And when they put it into the kind of specification of examination, they applied to it deoxyribonucleic acid test that is called DNA. And when they applied to them DNA, they found out that man was not the daddy. And they let the man go because the DNA didn't match up. So they had to let him go. Let me talk to you about something else. There is in Virginia, in Charlottesville, Virginia, a family that is called the Hibbins family. The Hibbins family said at the University of Virginia that their grandfather is the late 23rd United States, Thomas Jefferson. Now, Thomas Jefferson died back there in many years ago, almost 2 centuries ago. And they said that he was their daddy. The people in Charlottesville, Virginia said, Thomas Jefferson is not your daddy. But they said, well, let's find out. And they said, let's exhume his body from the ground. They went to the grave and dug his body up. When they dug his body up, there was nothing but ashes in there. The flesh had rotted, but they went through the ashes and they found what is called DNA. They found a little piece of blood in there, and he'd been in the grave for 175 years. And they went in there and got that DNA and applied to it the oxoribonucleic acid test that is called DNA. And after they examined those specimens, they came up with the conclusion, yes, he was the father of those children. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that could be power in the blood of Thomas Jefferson after 175 years. If there can be power in the blood of Thomas Jefferson after 175 years, what do you think about the power? What do you think about the power of Jesus? If there could be power in Thomas Jefferson's blood, after he laid in the grave for 175 years, and they go in there and find these ashes and determine, and that's reality, they concluded that Thomas Jefferson was the father of those children. If he got that kind of power in his blood, what do you think about the blood of Jesus? What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus.